Welcome to the week 3 video of the Crazy Writer Chicks on meditation. I'm recording a quick intro video because you'll notice when you watch this we had loads of fun technical issues and I'm missing from the feed. But stay tuned because there's a great conversation with Rebecca White, Winter Navi, and Quatavia Baber, who goes by Missy, and she is our meditation expert on today's video. So I hope you guys enjoy.
We're live.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Guess
Hey.
what? You are never going to believe that we're having technical difficulties. I know it's a shocker to everyone that this would happen to us. But Nikki, the person who knows everything, is for some reason shut out of our broadcast, at least for now. Maybe she'll get on later, we hope.
She's here via chat with us, just not visually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here because she really is the one who knows everything.
And runs the show for us.
So anyway, for now, let's just do what we're going to do and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll start introducing myself. My name is Rebecca. My friends call me Becca, and I write under the name R.A. White. I wrote fantasy, and now I'm writing paranormal women's fiction. And I'm very happy to be here tonight with our guest, Quatavia, who doesn't actually go by... Sorry, a bug just got me. It's Florida. I'm coming to you from Florida, where there are bugs all year round.
Right.
So, Winter, why don't you introduce yourself and then introduce your friend since you knew her first.
So I'm Winter Brooks, and I write as Winter Navi. And I just put up my first short story a couple weeks ago, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm currently writing a paranormal romance series. And that's all for now. But with us today, we're talking about meditation, and we have our first guest speaker, and this is Quatavia Baber, also known as Missy. So we might go back and forth with which name you hear throughout the show. Just go with it. She might be Missy, she might be Quatavia, she might be Hey Girl. But she's going to talk to us tonight because she has implemented meditation into her life. And she's going to talk about how it's benefited her, what the benefits of meditation are, how it can maybe help each of us individually, and what it would have been like if she had maybe started doing it earlier in her life. So if you have any questions about anything she says, write it on the Facebook Live, and then we'll bring them up for you and have her answer those questions for you. Go ahead, Quatavia, Missy Baber.
Yes, I'm Missy. I normally go by Missy.
Go ahead,
It's easier for everybody to see. It's great. I've been meditating now for, I want to say about 8 years now, 9 years.
Wow.
Off and on. I got more serious about it, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. I got more serious and dedicated to it, but I started about 8 years ago. It initially started with yoga, is where it initially came from. I would go to yoga class, and at the end, she had like a 10-15 minute space where she would read poetry, or we'd listen to music, or she would read scriptures, and just anything to try to encourage you or just let you lay there in silence. And I realized after I would get up, I would have, these moments of clarity, as far as I'll have a clear thought process on something or an issue I might have been struggling with. And then it dawned on me one day, hey, I could do this at home. I don't have to do this only when I go to yoga. I can do it at home and possibly get the same results. So then I started practicing at home.
Very cool. So what was it in your life that you said, you know what, this could benefit me longer than this like 5-10 minute period in my yoga class? why do you want to do it more? Why did you want to do it more? And then I know that you do it different times of the day or when specific situations happen. When do you choose to do it, and when does it benefit you the most?
I think for me, it benefits me the most at night. To relieve, I think for me, I have to release everything that happened that day, let it go, because I have a tendency of holding on to, I could have did this, I could have said that, I wish I would have been here for this, that, or the third, constantly thinking about what could have been. So meditation for me at night is great, because for me, it's a way of letting go of the day. What happened is what happened. It is what it is, and moving forward and being able to sleep, because me going from meditation, it's so much easier to go from meditation into sleep for me. So I also, for me, a lot is like if I'm taking a hot bubble bath, it's like my favorite time to do it. It's my favorite time to meditate. It's in a bathtub. For me, that is the best. I have my best moments of clarity. And I think I also have like these questions that I ask myself, that I might have been struggling with, or I know that I'm struggling with. And then I have those moments of clarity sometimes where it's like, oh, that makes sense. That's where that comes from. So that those 2 times are good for me. I'm trying to get in. I do it in the morning, and those are just usually words of affirmation, just saying, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to keep positive energy around me. I'm going to release and push back on negative energy, just kind of preparing myself for the day.
Very cool.
So I have a question about,
Yes,
I usually don't have a lot of trouble falling asleep because I'm usually just dead tired. But I know that is a major problem for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to relax enough to fall asleep. So, and I know we're going to talk more about some specifics, like as far as actually showing us what it looks like. But what kind, for getting ready for sleep, what is that in a general sense? What does that look like? Are you doing like a guided meditation that you're listening to, or is it something that you have memorized that you do in your mind, or is it breathing, or is it all of that, or I'm just curious about falling asleep.
It's really all of that. It really is all of that. You can do a guided meditation, and I use this. It's a lady named Lauren, and I can never say her name right. She's from Australia. I want to say Ostricha. I want to say that's how it's pronounced. But I love to listen to her before bedtime. For her, and she does a guided meditation, but she does what is called the breathing. But it's also about your body scan. So it's a body scan where you start from your head and you work down to your toes, just relaxing every muscle, being aware of your body. And but she has several different ones where, like, let's say you had a bad day, and she has ones for if it was just a rough day that day. And I think that one's called like It's Okay. Like, it's okay. It was a bad day. It's fine. We can move forward. She has a lot of them. Exactly. And I love her for that, because she has so many different ones that like help through whatever day you might go through and whatever day you might have went through. And then on top of that, she has a happiness course, which is like, I think I want to say it's like 8 YouTube videos. And it's just really her speaking to what happiness really is, where does it come from, how to use meditation to get there, and understanding, that happiness is not within your material things. It's within you, and you have to work on yourself in order to find it. So I really like Lauren. Lauren, to me, is great for that. And I think the body scan meditation is best when you're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we definitely need to put her some links to her in the notes for people and for me, because I'm looking for some better, not better, but some more options of people to follow for that.
Yeah. I know you don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I know you don't have any children, and we're talking about this as adults, but with your experience, do you think this can help children or parents with children who are extremely active or overactive?
Yes. And the reason why I say yes is because I think all of us as children could have used it, just being able to sit down and have that moment for yourself, whether you call it me time or or whatever the case may be. Just being able to sit down and say, hey, we're going to sit for 5 minutes. We're going to be quiet and we're just going to, focus on our breathing and, talk them through it, literally talk them through it, or find videos that they have a lot of videos, because I was looking that up since last time we talked for kids. And I got some of those written down as well that are meditations for kids. And they're no more than 5 to 10 minutes long. And it's just for different things. It's for if I got a couple of ones that are just, if they just full of energy and you just like, okay, we need to bring it down. It's time for bed. We need to bring it down. Or if they're crying, or if you feel like they're having some type of anxiety towards something, just a lot of different types of meditations to help them. Because I think a lot of times we don't realize that as adults, yes, we need to meditate, but children as well go through a lot of different things as well. And they need to meditate and be able to control those emotions and be aware of those emotions and acknowledge them and accept them. Because sometimes for us, I can say, yes, I'm angry, but for a child, not so much. Like, yeah, they're feeling an emotion, but are they aware of what it is, where it comes from? And I think that's a good time to use meditation too, when they're having what they call a temper tantrum. That's a good time to have a meditation, because you want to know, well, where is it coming from? Why are you upset? Why are you angry? And sitting them down and saying, okay, we're going to take 5 minutes and we're going to meditate. We're going to be quiet. And then when we come out of this meditation, you can explain to me what's wrong, what's happening. And let's have that conversation. Because I feel like if you try to get it out of them when they're angry, no. So I think meditation works really well in those types of situations.
Right. So when you're in the moment, you can't, even in an adult, you can't really
can't word it. Right.
Because it's emotional.
Right.
And that's something, okay, like this morning, we went to SeaWorld. We went with my son, my husband, my sister and her kids were there, my parents. And for whatever reason, this morning, my son started out anxious about going, about he was going to have to wear sunglasses. He just wanted to wear his regular glasses. He didn't want to wear shorts. He wanted to wear jeans. Like, just those, they're just little things, but they add to his anxiety about going somewhere where there's a lot of stimulation. Plus, he's excited to see family and friends, which, depending on what side of the bed you wake up on, excitement and anxiety can feel exactly the same. Like, you don't, you're just basically giving a meaning to that feeling inside of you by saying, I'm, feeling anxious. And when we got there, like, he had a whole meltdown and we had to like calm down before we went in. We were in the car. And then when we got there, like, something else happened and I stopped, I let everyone else go on. And I said, we're just going to calm down because you're getting out of control. And I just held him and he was like, I don't want to do meditation, because he felt like awkward. There's all these people. Right. I said, but if I'm just holding you, you can just feel me breathing and you can follow along. I don't have to say in and out, and it only took we had more that wasn't the end of it. And that was the end of it for the moment. He was better, but he was struggling with it for a few hours until he finally just really calmed down and wasn't worried about anything anymore. And I don't know if there was something specific that was bothering him too that I don't know about, because everyone has a hard time figuring out where their emotions come from. But kids, they don't have all those years of practice. And also, they're not mature yet. Right. So we expect a lot from them sometimes that they're just not able to do.
Exactly.
But with something like meditation.
Right. You're teaching them to be aware of their feelings, to acknowledge them. And it's okay to feel these feelings, but there's a proper way to go through them. We don't have to throw a temper tantrum. We don't have to scream and cry. We can do a meditation, calm down, and you can speak to me. And then it becomes natural. Hey, you know what, Mom, I'm not feeling it. Let me take a minute. And before you know it, it becomes normal to them to take that minute and then say, okay, I know afterwards I can come to my parent and say, this is what's bothering me. This is what I'm feeling, or this is what I'm upset about. And that way, and it opens up a great communication between the two of you. Because if he's having a temper tantrum, of course, that puts a lot of stress on you. So if both of you take that minute with sitting, I guess I'll do one like I'm at work. I'll sit with my, feet flat. Usually my hands are resting on my thighs. And it's just kind of a straight back. and you're gonna have your, straight back. And I kind of, what I do is, even though my back is straight, I let my head tilt forward a little bit just to kind of give me that resting feeling for me. So I'll close my eyes. So we'll start with that. Close your eyes, guys. We're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose. We're gonna let it out through our noses. We're gonna do it again through your nose. And we're gonna let it out through our noses. Really what we're doing is we're just trying to find a comfortable position. You're just relaxing yourself. We're releasing all the stress of today. So you're just letting that fall out. So when you do your inhale, you're inhaling nothing but positive and good thoughts through your nose. Then you're releasing the negative. We're going to do it again. We're going to pull in all that positive energy. And then we're going to release all that negative energy. And what I want you guys to focus on is, I focus, there's a light. Okay, there's a light. And it's like I'm in the middle of a spotlight, right? And it's just in me. My favorite color is purple, so my favorite light color is always purple. I let that flow through me. You can choose whatever color suits you. And that color is literally starting at the top of your head. And you're letting it work its way through you. You're letting it go through your face, your jaw, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your neck. And then you're going to relax those shoulders. And you're going to relax those arms, those fingers. You're going to relax your back, your hips. Relax those thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. Relax those toes. All right, now we're going to focus back on our breathing. So we're going to go in again through your nose, and we're going to let it out. We're going to go through our nose again, and we're going to go out. Now, focus on a thought, something good that happened today. I want you to pull something out today that happened that was good and it felt good to you, and I want you to hold on to that thought. I want you to feel what it makes you feel. Honestly, feel it, open up to it, but I want you to hold on to it as tight as you can. And remember that feeling. Now we're just going to go into some deep breathing, okay? We're just going to keep the breathing, but I want you to hold on to that thought. Okay. Now that you have that thought and you have that feeling and you've held on to it, now I want you to take all of that positive energy. I want you to let it flow all the way through you. Feel it from your head to your toes. Let it flow all the way through. And when it comes back up from your feet, I want you to let it into your heart. Hold it there. Now you're just going to release it into the earth. You want to release it into the energy around you. You want to surround yourself and your loved ones with that positive energy, that positive emotion. And now we're going to do 10 deep breaths. And when you're ready, you open your eyes. Take your time with this. Let it come naturally. And then when you're ready, only when you're ready, gradually open your eyes. But keep that positive light, feel that glow, that flow all through you. Open up your mind. Let all that positive energy, let it soar through you. And you want to hold on to that for the rest of the day. No matter what happened today, you did a great job. It's over and done with. Let all the negative go. And that's how I usually come out of mine. I do my namaste, of course. Hands here at your chest. Those deep breaths. And you just kind of, letting it go. Let it all go. And be like, okay, I'm ready for bed. And then I'm ready for a new day. And that's usually how I do it. That's my thought process when I do it. Of course, it's a lot slower, but I know we don't have much time. Usually mine are about 10 to 15 minutes. But that's usually what I take at night, just to kind of bring myself down and give myself a pep talk and move forward. And I always try to find that one great thing that happened today, that one good thing that I was like, oh, and it could be something so small, but made me go, oh, I'm gonna hold on to that. That was good. Or making somebody else feel good. Hold on to that too. Hold on to that too. That makes you feel really good about yourself and your energy. And it makes you do it more. It really does. It makes you want to give more and be more positive towards people. So find those thoughts and those processes that happened today that were great and hold on to those when you meditate.
I like that. It's really important to follow about that. Nikki wants to know, we didn't talk about when your mind wanders during it, like what should you do? We have a little time because we had a break in the middle that's going to be edited out, so we can talk.
Yeah, so we have.
If it's okay with you, we have an extra 5 or 10 minutes.
That's fine. So as far as when your brain wanders, this is natural. This is totally normal. And some days it's going to be horrible for you, and some days it's going to be great. But that's part of meditating. So when your mind wanders, what you want to do is bring yourself back to your breath. Okay. So you always want to, whenever you realize that your mind is kind of skipped off and left you, you always want to come back to your breath. So you always want to come back to your deep in through your nose and out through your nose. And sometimes taking pauses. Mm-hmm. So on an inhale, you hold it. And then on an exhale, you hold it again. And that way you become more focused on your breath and you get back to a center. A lot of times too, what I do with thoughts is, remember, I had a teacher once say, your thoughts are like clouds, right? Clouds never stop moving, but it's your decision to reach into your sky and grab that cloud and hold on to it. You don't have to. It's just a thought. Let it pass. Let it wander, let it go. And just remembering that and remembering to kind of separate yourself from those thoughts and saying, I'm doing me right now. Those thoughts are not me. They're just, because your brain never shuts off. That's just what it is. It never shuts off. So all you're trying to do is find a quiet spot. So breathing is usually what brings me back to, okay, my mind is yada, 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 went this way. Now I'm going to breathe, focus on my in and out, do a count. A lot of times counting helps. I'm going to do 10 deep breaths. I'm just going to focus on those deep breaths and to recenter yourself. So breathing really helps.
And I think it's important not to guilt yourself or be like, oh, I just can't focus. Like if you turn it into something negative, like I can't focus or I'm not doing this right, or this always happens or anything negative, then you end up ruining it.
You do. And you end up bringing that negative energy in you. And that's another thing that meditation teaches you is to forgive yourself, to allow yourself to have those moments. It's okay to have those moments. Even people who've meditated for years, I still do it. Whereas some days I have awesome meditation and some days my brain is just like, I'm not going to give you a break today. And that's okay. But as long as you're taking that time to meditate, as long as you're taking that time for yourself, it doesn't matter if your mind wandered 100 times during that meditation. It's okay. And I think a lot of times setting a time frame, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes today. 10 minutes. That's all I'm going to do for today. I'm going to give myself that good 10 minutes and make it something that you look forward to doing. Make it something that you're like, this is me time. For me, it's me time. It's all about me, Missy's diva time. I'm ready to be quiet and be all about me and think about some of the great things that happen, some of the bad. Let all that stuff go. None of that matters. All that matters is I did my best for that day. And what happened is what happened. And that's it. So I think you don't punish yourself because your brain is wandering. You're teaching it to be quiet. You're teaching it to be silent. It's we've let our brains run us forever. How old are we? My brain has ran me since what? I'm 35. It's ran me for 35 years. It does what it wants when it wants, and we've let it do that. So now you're trying to retrain it back to being like, let's have a peaceful moment. Let's be quiet. Let's shut off. So don't punish yourself behind that. Never punish yourself behind a meditation. And no meditation is bad. And you're never doing meditation wrong. There's no such thing as a wrong meditation. Because how meditation looks for me might not look the same for you. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a bad meditation or wrong meditation.
Nikki was saying that her kids. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Nikki says that her kids have been taught to count with belly breaths to recenter. It sounds similar to the same thing you were talking about.
Yes, it is, because all you're doing is saying, are you just focusing on the in and out, that inhale, exhale, and you're bringing it back to, okay, I just want to focus on me right now. I just want to focus on myself right now. And doing that. And your brain is going to wonder. I think that's what a lot of times people don't express. Your brain's going to wonder. Your mind's going to wonder. It's not going to just immediately, oh, I'm in a place of complete zen. No, it's a rarity for some people that it happens that they're able to meditate for 5 minutes without a thought running through their heads that they grasp onto. So, and another thing is, I think people think, oh, well, I've meditated like 6 times, so I should have it by now. No, meditation is weeks, months, years. That's how you have to think of it as. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that you just automatically, every time you do it, is great. Because I have moments where I meditate and I'll come out and be like, I didn't get what another thing, don't go in with an expectation. Oh, I expect to come out feeling clear. You might not. You might come out and feel a little bit more muddled than you did before. But being able to pull the positive energy, and I think that's where we need to focus on, the positive energy, because sometimes I'll come out of a meditation and I just have to sit there and cry because I realized something about myself, or I had to acknowledge something about myself that maybe didn't make me feel so comfortable. But it still was a positive one, because why? I learned something about myself. I acknowledged something about myself, and now I'm aware of it. And I think that's how you have to see it, as sometimes meditation is going to make you uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to bring thoughts into your mind that you're like, I don't want to think about this, or I don't want to feel this. But you have to go through those emotions. You have to go, and sometimes it's a healing process, being able to forgive yourself and move forward. So I think with everybody being able to meditate and be able to say, okay, this is solely for me to be with me. And that's all it is. Solely for me to be with me. I just want to be by myself. I just want to learn me and love me, because I think we forget, if you can't love yourself, it's hard for you to love anybody else, or to allow someone to love you. Mm-hmm. So meditation, I believe, is a lot about self-love. And I feel like the more you love yourself and acknowledge yourself, the more you can see yourself in other people, and therefore you can love them and give them that sympathy, that empathy, and welcome them with open arms to yourself. And I think that helps a lot with the judgment, because I think we go through that a lot nowadays with judgment. Somebody looks at you and automatically they have this is what I think. But if you meditate, you kind of come to an understanding that I don't know who you are, because I know I have my own mask, and a lot of people don't know who I am. And I'm still learning myself, and you could possibly be still learning yourself. So I'm not going to prejudge you, because I want to know. I want to know you. I want to be that open book, and I want to be around people who are open books, and I want to give that positive energy, and I want to receive that positive energy. So for me, that's why I hold on to meditation the way that I do, because I like to know that I'm open to people, and people are open to me, and I love my energy. I love the fact that I can walk into a room and have people gravitate and talk to me, and they know nothing about me, but it's the energy I put out. And I put out that energy because I always want people to feel comfortable and safe and welcome, because that's how I would want to feel. And I think my meditation is what keeps me humble to that. Is I'm no better than anybody else. I'm no greater, no smarter, no nothing. I'm just me. But in my uniqueness, I'm wonderful. And in anybody else's uniqueness, they are wonderful. And you just have to learn who they are. And some people ain't gonna want you to learn them, and that's fine. But some people gonna be like, "Okay, lady, back up. I don't want no part of you," and that's fine. And but it's good to be able to say that's
Yeah.
fine because
You
sometimes
gave
you
them
take
the
it
option.
Yeah.
personal.
I guess
You
that's
take it
where they
personal.
are. That's
Right,
where they
that's where
are.
they are,
That's
and you
not
accept them where
you.
they at. Exactly.
Yeah.
You accept them where they at, and I think that's what meditation is all about: is being able to open yourself up and being able to see that everybody has a story. Everybody has something they're going through, been through, but we are all unique. And because of that uniqueness, we're all wonderful, And I think another thing is you can always learn something from somebody. So why close that door? Why shut off that communication? You never know what you could pick up from another individual. You never know what you could see in another individual or what they could see in you. You never know what footprint you leave on somebody's life. And I think if we live it like that, like I just want to leave a great footprint on everyone's life that I come in contact with. The world's a better place for it. And I think meditation keeps you in that frame of mind of I'm literally just a servant to other people, as far as a servant of I want to bring you happiness on a platter. I want to bring you warmth and comfortableness, be able to be comfortable with me and in my energy. Because my energy, the more positive energy I get, the more I can give out, right? So I'm going to keep giving
Yeah.
it because I want it back. I want it back because I want to keep that cup filled so I can keep filling others. And that's why
Well, if
I'm
you're not rushing,
right.
like it's teaching you to slow down. That you're
Yes.
not just always trying to get and do the next thing.
Right.
Just the discipline, even if you didn't really meditate, just the discipline of being still
Right.
for X number of minutes could have such an impact on, like you're saying, on your attitude and
Mm-hmm.
the ability to love people and care. Because when you get, I don't know, it's not just me. Like I think as humans, especially Americans, we get so absorbed in what we're doing by what we're accomplishing. What's my list?
Right.
I always have a list. And then sometimes that can be good, like, no, that's not on my list. I'm not going to get distracted by that. Like there's some benefit to that. But when it's a person or when it's something real, not just another thing to do, but when it's someone that really needs something, to be able to see that. And if we're all caught up in what we're doing, we can miss that. We can miss that,
Right.
the sadness of someone's, like you're saying, like being able to show that compassion or to see that someone needs it in the first place.
Right. And I
Or
think
to
that's
not
what
only
it
focus
does.
on self.
Exactly. That's what meditation is. I'm not focused. It's focusing on you, but it's also focusing on the fact of other people and your surroundings and making you aware and alert about other people around you, and then feeling that energy and being able to say, hey, you all right today? Is everything good today? Taking that moment to say, hey, or even being able to take that moment and look at your significant other or your family members and say, hey, I'm not okay right now. Give me that moment to either I need you to give me that positive energy, I need you to give me that love, or I need you to give me that space so I can recenter myself. And I think that's all about being able to love one another. I think that's what we forget to do a lot is you're supposed to love each other regardless, right? Like, granted, things are going to happen. People are going to do things. It is what it is. But to be able to say, regardless of the fact I'm here, if you need me,
Well,
I'm
if you're
open to it.
balanced, if you're balanced and you're not feeling crazy because of everything around you, then you have that bandwidth to be able to look out and see what other people are doing and needing. But if you're so frantically dealing with your own stuff, not dealing with your own stuff, I should say, frantically not dealing with your own stuff, you don't have that. You don't have that ability to help somebody else.
No, because we have this focus
You got a plank in your own eye. You can't help somebody with a speck in their eye.
Right. Because I think we're constantly on this go. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta go. I gotta go. And it's like, why? What is the rush? Why are we so quick with things? It's like, I think a lot of times that's why miscommunication happens, because sometimes we listen to respond instead of listening to hear. Let me hear what you're honestly saying to me. And that's another thing meditation teaches you to do. It teaches you to stop and go, wait, let me listen to myself. Because if you can learn to listen to yourself, you can learn to listen to other people. Because a lot of times we don't listen to ourselves. Our bodies will say, hey, you know what? I'm tired. We'll keep going. Or you'll say, hey, I'm feeling all these emotions. I need to stop. And you'll keep going. And we have to learn to listen to ourselves and to take those moments. And then that's how you learn to listen to other people and take those moments to be like, hey, I'm here. What do you need? If you need me, I'm here. And I feel your energy and I want to help you. But that's why, and I think that's why meditation is so cool, because it not only deals with yourself, but while you're dealing with yourself, it helps you to deal with other people better. And it helps you to understand other people better, because you understand yourself better and where you're coming from. Like I said, I've done meditations where I've come out and I've had to just sit there and cry because I knew this was an issue or a wound I had not yet healed from. I had not yet addressed, or I didn't even understand, didn't even know it was a problem, and it hits you in a moment of clarity and you're like, oh my God. But that realization makes me more aware of other people, though. Now I'm more aware of other people who might be going through something similar, or might be hiding behind the same or similar mask that I've hid behind, and just need somebody to say, it's okay to step out from behind the mask. It's okay to be you.
Can you talk about your fascination with why and how that will benefit someone who's a student of yours as a life coach, how you like to dig deep and how meditation helps you with that and seeking in the why of people?
I think the meditation for me is because I so deeply want to understand myself that I want to understand other people. And I think meditation makes me aware of other people's emotions. Like for me, I already feel like I'm an empath. Like I feel people's energy. I've always been that way as a kid. I was like that as a kid all the way up through adulthood. Of course, I didn't understand what was happening then. Like you couldn't put me in a room full of angry people because I will become angry. You can't put me in a room full of sensitive people or people who will cry because I'm going to sit there and cry with them. There's a lot of different things but I didn't understand that. But now trying to understand myself, I always want to know the why behind people. Like I never want to look at you and go, oh, that's just who you are. No, I want to know why. And meditation makes me focus on that because I want to make you feel comfortable in your own skin to speak your truth. Because I feel like a lot of us don't get to speak our truth. A lot of us don't find that safety to speak your truth. And with my meditation, it shows me how to be open and available when that moment arises to say, hey, I'm here and I'm aware of your feelings and tell me. And being able to accept it. No judgment, no criticism. Just that is how they're feeling. That is what they're going through. And accepting it and being like, well, I'm here. And then being able to speak to them on a level that they understand. Because again, you're just meeting people at their levels. You're meeting them wherever they're at. So digging deep to me makes me understand you better as an individual. I can't understand you if I don't know you. But I can't understand you if I don't know me either. I can't. Because you find similarities in everybody you meet. You find something that you and that person can connect with. And the better you know yourself, the more points you have to connect with other people. The more points you can use to say, I can relate to that feeling at least. So now we can have a conversation where you can say whatever it is you need to say. And I'm providing that energy so you know that it's safe and you're secure in it. And I think for me, that's what meditation drives for me. That's why being a life coach at this point seems like the right move for me, because I feel like a lot of times we're always on this go, go, go. And I just want to provide that safe environment. I want to provide that safe environment where it's like, you're okay. I have no judgment. I want you to be okay. So speak your truth. And I think I know for myself, I had a hard time speaking my truth. as a teenager, as a young adult, I was always terrified of hurting somebody's feelings or somebody being mad with me or the fact that they would stop loving me. And because of that, I kept a lot of stuff bottled in. And with that bottled in, I became a very angry person. A lot of people didn't know I was angry until I snapped. And then it was like, whoa, but it was bottled up. And meditation helped me address it and understand it and be better with it. And you have to be around the right people. My fiance constantly encourages to speak my mind. Of course, now he probably wishes that I would shut up, but that's okay. Now he's like,
no judgment.
Probably now he's like, oh Lord, what did I do? I woke up a monster. Please be quiet. And I'm like, you made this. You told me it was okay to tell you how I feel. This is how I feel. He's just like, I know sometimes he's probably like, Jesus, I don't know what I did with that one, which is okay. But it's part of who I am now. Now I can speak my truth and be okay with it and not be afraid of somebody being offended. I think people are only offended if I react off of emotion. If I'm just talking to you like I'm talking to you guys now, you can't get offended. I'm just having a conversation. I'm just telling you how I feel. But when I react off of emotion, I know I'm a yeller. I yell, I scream, I lose it, or I shut down completely, which is also a wonderful thing. So I had to teach myself to be like, okay, wait, let's talk calmly. And he even knows once I've hit 10, leave the room because I can't. But give me 10 minutes and I can come in there and go, okay, you made me feel like this. And he's like, okay, babe, let's talk about it. Let's understand it. And that's another thing, being able to be open about your feelings and being able to tell him. I told him, once I hit 10, you can't talk to me because I no longer care what you're saying. It doesn't matter. You could talk to your blue in the face. I don't care. You could be telling me the honest God truth. At that point, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. So we had to learn.
And everyone is that way.
Right.
Everyone is that way. Once you get to a point, you just have to calm. And that's why people start at each other. Because they're both in that state of mind, and so they're just screaming, and then
you get nowhere.
Bad things happen.
Absolutely nowhere. Right.
Yeah, at that point, no one wants a resolution. They just want to release.
Yeah, or to win, depending on.
Or to win, right? Or to win, and again,
you're both losing. So
exactly, because you're both going to be mad still afterwards. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be angry. So just don't do it. I think that for a lot of people, if we just stop and say, hey, this is my trigger. You just hit it. So let's stop because now I can't handle it. Like for me, I know my trigger, even though I don't like to argue. I like to say I'm non-confrontational a lot of the time, but when you push me into a corner like anybody else, I'll come out. But for him, he's one of those people who are very passionate. So when he speaks, his voice raises. Well, for me, no, you can't raise your voice at me. No. And that stems from my childhood. My father would tell you. He didn't have to discipline me. All he had to do was raise his voice and say something like, I am disappointed in you. And that was the end of the earth for me. I thought I was dying. That was it for me. You didn't have to do nothing else but look me in the eye and tell me you was disappointed in something I did, or raise your voice too many octaves. And I was like, oh God, take me down. And he was just like, I didn't even do anything. But I had to realize, that I don't communicate well that way. He has to stay calm. And I have to stay calm. But if he escalates in any way, shape, or form, I tend to shut down. And then we get nowhere because, again, he's Mr. Fix It. And I'm Mr. I don't want to hear it. And, but I think my meditation has really, really helped me with that because I'm able to communicate with him better. And he understands me better. And I'm able to say how I feel better in a calmer tone and a more, hey, babe, after, this is how you made me feel, or this is what I think, or whatever the case may be. And we communicate on a much better level because for me and him both, we both can be very passionate. Like there's certain topics we can't talk about in the house. Like certain like politics, absolutely not. It's we'll go we'll go toe to toe. But understanding that is saying we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. This is not for us. This is not a topic for us. We could talk about anything else under the sun. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about. And I think that's another thing with meditation is realizing your strengths and your weaknesses and accepting that. I know for me, a lot of my strengths are I live my life like an open book, like I'm so open. While as my significant other, he's more closed in. He's a lot better now because I had to have the emotional connection. And he was able to finally understand that and give it to me because he was just like, okay, I'm not used to this. Because again, what are we teaching our boys? Strong. You don't got to be all sensitive. And I was like, no, lies you tell. I need to know. I need you to say it. I'm words of affirmation. I need you to tell me. You got to say it. You got to look me in the eye and you got to tell me this is how you feel. Because I have to hear it. I'm not one of those people who go, okay, I guess you're feeling. Nope. I'm going to question you until you tell me what's wrong because I want to know. I want to know.
Well,
we didn't went on for I don't know how many more minutes now.
Yeah, so we do probably need to wrap up, but this has been so helpful. I really appreciate. Now I know there's like 100 benefits to meditation, and I hope that everyone who sees it, I think probably a lot of people who see this haven't experienced it before or don't really know a lot about it. Right. I know I'm just now learning about it, and a lot of the things that you've said, I hadn't even thought about how that would be a potential benefit. So that's just really helpful, I think, and I really appreciate you coming and talking to us about it and your passion for it. That it's not just like informational, but that this is something you really care about and
right, it is
something you live
knowledge for. Yeah.
It's
been. Nikki says yes. Thank you.
You're welcome,
thank you, Nikki, for taking care of everything, even though we can't see you.
Nikki.
She's been our behind the scenes.
The woman
taking
in the chair.
Care of us. Yes. Well, thank you, Missy. Thank you, Quatavia Baber. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Nikki. It's been a good chat, and I've really learned some really good things, and we really appreciate it. And then we'll get those links and put it up for people for when we put this video out.
No problem. Make sure
she says don't forget to talk about next week. Next week we're talking about audiobooks and that's next week.
Audiobooks versus
paper books and
paper books reading. Yeah.
And we may talk about, if that doesn't take us long enough, we can talk about Kindles and all kinds of stuff probably, right? I mean, the main thing is audiobooks versus reading, but
the various ways of reading.
Inputting different ways. Maybe people will discover something new.
Yeah.
Or we can just debate it. We can just
we'll debate because you know where I stand. I drive for a living, people. It's only one time a day I get to read, and it's when I'm behind the wheel. So,
alrighty. Thanks everybody for
Missy.
watching.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. You guys have a great evening.
Thanks. You too. Good night.
Bye. Good night.